This is the Choyong WT2, and it's one of a series of internet radios that are made by Choyong. This one's a little different though. They call it a WT2 because, as you can see, it looks like a walkie-talkie, and in fact it functions as a walkie-talkie as well as being an internet radio. So there are two walkie-talkie functions. One's called push-to-talk over cellular. I know nothing about that, so I'm not going to address that. In this video, I'm going to talk about the programming this thing for amateur radio repeaters. Now, this is the instruction sheet you get, and there's absolutely nothing, zero, about programming repeaters or even the push-to-talk over cellular function. All they talk about is the internet radio function and also how to get to an additional receiver in here, which is the FM, AM, and shortwave receiver. That I'll talk about in another video. But for now, we're going to talk about how to program this thing for amateur radio repeaters. And by the way, if you're not a licensed ham, don't bother buying this. Buy one of the other internet radios because you're not allowed to transmit with this thing. So stay tuned and we'll talk about programming repeaters. So to turn the Choyong radio on, you just have to push and hold, excuse the focus, the button at the side, the red button. The other button here is volume up and down, just kind of like on your phone. And in order to get into the walkie-talkie function, what you'd normally do is just push that, and it will tell you to turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth before using the function. So actually, let's go back and check that. So if we hit, go back and hit the 0 button, we can see that Wi-Fi is off and Bluetooth is off. So we're good there. So this is kind of like a back button, the C button. So if you just push that, that will take you into this screen. And what it's showing right now is that this POC function is the one that's live. And we actually want to shut that off. So in order to do so, you hit the 0. So you see it says a push-to-talk over cellular is turned off. We want to use the walkie-talkie function. So in order to do that, to switch between them, you go hit 5. So you can see it toggles between them. And we can see that that function is turned on. And if we hit OK, you can see I've already programmed some channels in here. But let's create another channel here. Or actually, first I'll show you how to delete a channel. So channel 5, this one, we're going to hit 0, and then we can say delete channel. So it's saying, because it's in green, that's the default channel. So we'll just go to another channel, make it the default, and then go back to using these two buttons here, go back to the channel we want to delete, hit 0, and hit OK when it says delete channel, and OK again. So now that we've deleted that channel, somebody keeps calling in. So deleted that channel 5. Let's add a channel back in again. So you go up to new channel and entering the receive frequency. Now this is the output frequency of the repeater. In other words, it's the frequency that you would tune the radio to listen to that repeater. So this repeater is on 443.825, and then fill in any zeros at the end. And use the down button to go to the transmit frequency. In this case, because it's UHF, it's 5 megahertz up, so it's going to be 448.8. And there's no decimal button here, so you just punch the numbers in, it knows the position of that digit. Okay, and then down again. Don't hit the OK button yet. So this was channel 5. We'll just reestablish it as channel 5. Now you can't put an actual channel name in. It doesn't give you the capability of doing that. You can only put a channel number in there. So if we go down, we see we can put in a receive CTCSS tone. I don't want to do that because that means that's tone squelch. It means the receiver won't open up unless it receives that CTCSS tone. Same thing with DCS. We want to put in a tone because our local repeater requires us to transmit a CTCSS tone. So I'm going to hit OK, and now I scroll down through the list of standard CTCSS frequencies, and our local one is 114.8. So I just say OK, and you can see it's now entered that into that tone, transmit tone space. I'm not interested in the DCS. And transmit power, you can toggle between high and low power. This thing struggles. They advertise it as 2 watts, but it's typically closer to 1 watt. So we can back out of that, and it will ask us to save the channel. Just say OK. Channel is now added. And so we can see our channel 5, and it's made it green, so it's made it the default by default. So the difference between using this radio on repeaters versus using, say, a Baofeng or something like that. By the way, if your screen disappears, just always hit the power button. That always brings it back. The difference is, instead of just doing an up-down button to change to a different frequency, here you use the up-down buttons, but let's say you wanted to use this frequency instead of the one that's in green. You'd have to go down there, hit OK, and set it as a default. And somebody's always transmitting on that frequency for some reason. A little problem with that. So, for instance, I might want to go down to the simplex channel and hit OK, and it will set that as the default channel. So it's a bit more clunky to move around. You have, and even if I say scrolled up here, or down here, I should say, to a different channel, thinking I'm using it, I'm not. I'm actually transmitting on the simplex channel, which is in green up here. So you got to be careful with that. So I had a couple of problems with this, and I've tried to get in touch with Choyong about it, and I can't say they're very responsive. At least I haven't heard back yet. One of the problems I found was when you push the push-to-talk button and you're on a repeater, let's say, and then you let go of the button, you'd expect it to drop out. But it doesn't. It just says, you know, that you're still talking on the radio. So I found I had to hit something else, like, say, volume down, or maybe hit the PTT button again to get it to actually unkey. The other problem I had was, if, let's say this is the first time you turn it on, and you go through all that rigmarole of getting into the radio function, and you push the button and nothing, the PTT button, and nothing happens. So I'm not sure about that one. I found that I had to actually shut the radio off, turn it on again, make sure Wi-Fi was off, Bluetooth was off, go into the repeater that I wanted, and sometimes it would just work again. So it's, you know, I wouldn't buy this if you were looking for a reliable handy-talkie for amateur radio repeaters. I'd buy something else. If you want to keep it cheap, you know, buy a Baofeng or something like that. But I must say the internet radio function is quite nice on this, and that's primarily why I bought this. So, but as I say, you know, there are other options. What I would look for is one with Bluetooth output. A lot of the internet radios don't seem to have that function, and I needed that to connect to either a Bluetooth speaker or to a stereo system. So anyway, not a cheap item, but interesting in that it's got all these functions in it. But there you go. That's how you program amateur radio repeaters on the Choyong WT2.